The story of a people is told best by those who live it out daily. And when the history of that community is informative, inspirational, and insightful, it should then be shared with the world. The Clio Exchange does that.
You like that. I mean, you really made the lyrics come alive.
Well, I also admired people like Dinah Washington, who was the queen of the blues, and Ella Fitzgerald, who was the queen of scat. Also the first black band leader in our history. When her husband died, she took over the band.
Ella?
Ella Fitzgerald. A lot of people don't know that. She was the first female black professional band leader. People like Sarah Vaughan, who I think is the instrument, voice of the to be, to be admired forever. Those are my idols, and who I try to pattern my vocals behind. Nina Simone, Gloria Lynn.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, and
Nancy Wilson.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Can't forget her.
Yes.
And I suppose that when they brought you to Motown.
No, it wasn't like that.
Okay, tell
I was
me.
discovered in a nightclub.
Okay.
I had won an amateur show, and my reward was to sing at 20 grand doing happy hour because,
20
like I
grand.
said, Dad wouldn't let me in the house after 12.
Right.
So while I was singing, a guy came with a card and asked me to come to Hitsville, USA. He gave me a card, says, "I'm William Stevenson from Hitsville, USA. You have talent." And I took the card backstage and read it, and it had on there a group called The Miracles. A woman named Mary Wells, Marv Johnson, Barrett Strong. And I said, wow, that's the company, the black-owned company. I want to go there.
Oh.
So I quit my job
You knew about it.
at the Cleaners. I didn't go that next morning.
At the Cleaners?
Yes, I was working at the Cleaners and singing at nightclubs on the weekend. I went to Hitsville, USA. I was met by a receptionist who said to me, I said, "I'd like to see Mr. Stevenson." And she said, "Who, you mean Mickey?" And she said, okay. She buzzed to be back through the little door in this house. My dad had taught me to ride the East Grand Boulevard to the west side. I'm from the east side, right? Scared to go on the west side, but then had enough nerve because I wanted to be in show business. I figured I'd been discovered. So I arrived, and he appeared at the door in the same suit he had on the night before, with his sleeves rolled up, his tie loosened, and at that time we were wearing finger waves. His finger waves were a little bust. He was looking for some musicians to cut a session on a drummer named Marvin Gaye.
Oh, yeah, little known Marvin Gaye.
This youngster had been brought to Hitsville, USA by Harry Fuqua, formerly of the Moonglows.
Right.
And he was going to be recorded. He had done some prior records, but he was going to be recorded, and Mickey was running around, Mickey Stevenson was running around trying to find musicians and set up the proper program for him to be recorded.
Okay.
And he was gone for 3 hours after he told me to answer the phone. When I first
he
saw
told you
him,
to answer the phone?
Yeah, after I first saw him, he said, "What are you doing here?" So, "What do you mean? You gave me the card and told me to come here." He said, "Yeah, but you're supposed to take the card and call for an audition. We have auditions every third Thursday."
Okay.
"I'll tell you what, answer this phone. I'll be right back." I guess I must have looked like I was going to cry or fall on the floor and have a fit or something. But
Right.
I
Put you
took
to
that,
work.
I took that suggestion, and I sat there and I answered the phone. I tore up note paper to keep messages. No one had ever done that. There were 17 writers in that department. One little room, no windows, just a desk, file cabinet, a clock, a piano. And I stayed there for 3 hours until he came back, taking messages and being confronted by all kinds of musicians and writers and people saying, "Well, where is Mickey?" "Oh, you mean Mr. Stevenson? He said he'd be right back."
Wow,
I
you
was
really
told,
put it on.
Yeah, I was told there's no A&R secretary to a lot of people until I had these musicians who confronted me with a lot of profanity, wanting to be paid for this prior session. I called a sales department, and I put them directly on the phone with her, and when they finished with her, she asked to speak to the A&R secretary.
Wow.
So I made a difference.
You did that while you
one
was
day,
My
one day.
goodness.
And at the end of
They
the
hired you right away.
At the end of the 8 hours, no, they didn't. At the end of the 8 hours, I was indispensable.